Welcome back, everyone. So here we are in my kitchen, and these are the appliances that I bought when I bought this house. And I just thought I'd do a quick little video on how they're holding up. It's going to be 2 years, November 22nd, and it's now September, I think it's September 19th right now. And I thought I would just talk a little bit because there's one thing I want to talk about, and we'll get to that. And it is appliance related, and we're going to get to it. This is, by the way, this is not a review of appliances and a recommendation of anything. It's just me talking. This is a vlog video. I want to talk a little bit about the appliance shortage we're having right now, because that ties into what I'm getting into. So let's just get on with it. So it'll be 2 years in November. And one of the first things I did, even before I closed on the house, I went to my local big box retailer, and I had a budget number in mind, and I put a package of appliances together, and I paid them to deliver them on like a little after move-in day. And this was in 2018. This would have been November 2018. And so yeah, almost 2 years ago. And I went with all Frigidaire in the kitchen because I personally I've had good luck with Frigidaire stuff in the past, and my parents used Frigidaire, always bought Frigidaire stuff. We know that the name doesn't mean anything. The parent company is, I believe, Electrolux, and the products seem to be fairly easy to service, reliable, and, inexpensive. So even though Frigidaire does have their high-end, which is what this fridge is. This is kind of one of Frigidaire's high-end models, or it was. And this was the only appliance that I kind of went a little bit above. I cut down the price on one appliance to get this fridge, because I had a number to work with. And so this is what I bought for a fridge. It is a French door drawer style. These used to get hammered in the reviews for lack of efficiency and reliability, but I didn't really care. I wanted a drawer freezer because it makes more sense. You have all of your frozen items at the bottom where cold air sinks. So you want that, I think. I'm no expert, but I like the style. I like this, not the style, but I like the convenience of having a freezer chest like this. Everything just stays nice and cold at the bottom. And then you've got your French door fridge, which is massive. It's configurable. And it's just a nice machine. I love it. And very happy with it. I had one issue. I had one issue, and it had to do with the ice maker. And I think what happened was the water line froze. I had the fridge set to a little bit below 37 for a while, and I think that was enough to cause it to freeze up. We hadn't used it in ages, and that's probably what happened to it. I did a video on this a while back. I ran through all the diagnostic tests and everything. Could find nothing wrong. So that's the fridge. The stove. All right, so I spent a little bit more on the stove. I went with a self-cleaning glass smooth top model. It cooks well once you get used to it, because I came from a coil top range that was 30 years old. It was a 24-inch coil top range in my old condo. And this thing right here, it will incinerate your food if you're not careful. It heats up quick, and so you gotta really get used to it. For a while, we were using the smoke alarm as a timer. We're really not that bad cooks, I swear to God. One issue I have with this stove, though, is it scratches easily. The top does scratch easy, so you got to make sure you're using nice, smooth bottom pans. But the enamel right here, this got scuffed up. I don't know how this happened. No idea. But it happened, and I could probably buff this out with a little buffing compound and a buffing wheel, but I'm not going to bother. This, by the way, this is dirty. This is usually a lot cleaner, but right now I just didn't think to clean everything first. The microwave, now this is where I kind of skimped a little bit. This is not one of Frigidaire's high-end microwaves. This is one of their less expensive models. But it's a decent little microwave, very simple functions. I didn't go for anything extravagant. It functions as a greasy oil extractor when you turn the fan on when you're cooking with grease. It has these filters built in, which actually should be cleaned. Microwave's great. So, where did things go south? Where did things go wrong? It wasn't these guys. These are holding up fine. It was the freaking dishwasher. Now, I'm not going to bother showing you the dishwasher right now because I want to keep some suspense as to what I bought. And I'm not even going to put it in the title. I'm not going to tell you what I bought. Let me tell you what I had. So I had one of Frigidaire's least expensive dishwashers. It was a simple dishwasher, only like two different sizes. It had a heavy wash and a light wash, and that was it. No pots and pan setting, no. It was just a cheap, that's where I skimped, and that was a mistake. I bought it was like a $350 dishwasher, total piece of crap. What happened was, so a couple days ago, I ran a cycle of dishes, and I was out in the living room. My girlfriend was, I think she was, either she wasn't home from work yet, or she went out to see some friends. But I was the only one in the house, and all of a sudden I could smell blow out a candle right now. Go light a candle and blow it out. That is what the entire house smelled like. It started off kind of subtle, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, what the? And I knew what it was, because it happened to me before, under different circumstances when I was in the condo. All of a sudden, the whole house just, oh my God, it was unbearable. Like, what the hell? I opened the dishwasher, and it's full of smoke. So, okay, you're thinking, oh, well, dumbass, you shouldn't put plastics in the bottom rack of the dishwasher, because that's what we do. And then I'm going to recant that by saying this. I have always washed our plastics on the low rack. Always done it. I've done it since ever. And one of the things that we don't do is we do not use the heated dry feature, because it melts plastic, right? We don't use heated dry, and we do put plastics in our dishwasher. We've never had a problem. I have had a dishwasher for 14 years, and I've never had a problem with that. The only time I ever had a problem is when I ran the heated dry cycle, and I put the plastics, I had a plastic spoon slip through the rack, and it landed on the heating element, and it melted. That was 3 dishwashers ago. That's the only time I've ever had anything like this happen. Okay? So stop it. Don't chastise me right now. I don't need it. So what happened was I opened the dishwasher, and one of these lids, which was on the lower rack, it was actually it was a lid that goes to this container here. The red plastic Anchor Hawking lid. So, okay, the thing was dripping. I opened the dishwasher, I pick it up, and it was dripping plastic into the dishwasher. The water level in the dishwasher was just below the element. Here's what happened. And I didn't do any diagnostics. I didn't do any troubleshooting. I just took everything out of the dishwasher. I washed everything by hand, and I thought about everything I know about how a dishwasher runs. And I'm thinking, what could have happened? Well, it was at the end of the wash cycle, and the heating element was on, like full bore. And it was at the point where if I had a heated dry turned on, it would have been activating the element, right? But here's the funny thing, okay? Now, there was still water in the tub, so that could be normal. Like, I think it does a final drain after the heating element runs a little bit. So, here's what I believe happened. One of two things. either the relay, so the heating element is used for two things. It's used to heat the water and it's used to dry. So what happens is during a heated wash cycle or a high temperature cycle, it fills the tub and it runs the element to heat the water to a set point, and then it starts the pumps and it does all the spray nozzles and the shit. And the cascade goes everywhere, and the little bubbles start scrubbing the dishes. It's so cool if you're on mushrooms. But what happened was, I think the element was stuck on from the heated the water heating process. And that would indicate that a relay may have gone bad, or something went wrong in the control board, because the element should not have been on at that point. Is it fixable? Yes, totally fixable. In fact, I explained it to the gentleman I ended up giving the machine to. I said, you can fix this. Use at your own discretion. and he was all excited. He was happier than a oh wow, what do you think? What analogy should I use? He was happier than a cat on catnip. Okay, very excited to take that dishwasher away from me. So let's get into current events. I don't know how many of you folks have gone appliance shopping lately, within the past couple months. I'll relay a story. My parents just bought a house, and they need a dishwasher. Actually, my dad wanted to replace all the appliances in the house, so I went with him to Lowe's. And we hadn't really realized this, but we're dealing with a global health crisis right now that's crippling manufacturing. It's crippling, of course, people have been losing jobs left and right, so there's not a lot of money to go around, not as much as there used to be. So there's like problems galore, problems after problems. And to make it worse, people who have money are remodeling their houses out of boredom. So the price of lumber has doubled. The availability has drastically been cut. All building materials. I spoke to a contractor recently, a family friend, and he was talking about how he can't get materials to finish jobs. And when he can get them, the prices are 4 or 5 times higher in some cases than they normally would be. And how this relates to appliances is people are redoing their kitchens. And there's a manufacturing the shortfall in parts availability and manufacturing has created a vortex or a vacuum of appliance availability. My dad, at the time we went to Lowe's to get some pricing and to see what, it was going to take 2 to 3 months to get what he wanted to buy. 2 to 3 months of it. Yeah. Okay. So I actually know a couple who ordered a washer and dryer for their house in December and still haven't gotten them. December. I don't know what model they bought. I don't know what make. But they're still going to the laundromat every day. And they're not poor folks. They're quite wealthy. And they can't get what they need. So imagine my surprise when my dishwasher decided to incinerate my dishes. And let me tell you, the heat that was rolling out of that machine was hotter than hell. And it was starting to warp the little strainer at the bottom. That's when you know there's a problem. Okay. So I contemplated the situation. I said, what am I going to do? I can't buy a dishwasher right now. I can't find a damn dishwasher right now. I can't, but no, I could fix it. That's what I do. I fix shit. I do it for a living. I get paid good money to fix things, actually. I make a lot of videos on how to fix things. But when that dishwasher malfunctioned to a point that could have caused property damage, I said, you know something? I'm not going to mess with this machine. What am I going to do? What if I fix it and it does it again? And I'm not around to stop it. Situation is getting pretty scary. Now, real quick, we'll take a click. Somebody just asked me a question about my frog, and this is Rosie the Riveter. She will be 6 years old in March, I believe. 6 years old. Can you believe that? 6. Everyone's telling me that I'm running my aquarium wrong, I'm doing everything wrong, and I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything, I don't know what I'm doing, and yet my frog is still alive 6 years later. Go figure. Apparently, I don't know what I'm doing, though. And there she is. Happy as a frog. Actually, I'll give her some food in a little bit. But, anyway, yeah, she's happy as a clam. Appliances. So, I could repair the dishwasher, but I decided against it because, number one, I don't want to dicker around with a damn machine that could burn my house to the ground over one little problem. And the second thing is, I hated that dishwasher from the day I bought it. Once I bought the machine and I realized what I had bought, I'm like, crap. I was going to return it, actually. I was going to try to return it shortly after it arrived. And because it never really washed dishes very well. It was loud. I mean, it was like a 70 decibel model. I mean, the thing, you couldn't even have a conversation in the kitchen when it was running. It was so freaking loud. I'm like, why didn't I just spend the extra couple $100 and get something that was reasonably nice? Regrets, whatever. I lived with it for 2 years, and now it's broken. Oh, but it decided to break during a national health crisis, which caused a shortage of appliances. Thanks, Frigidaire. Anyway, so I took the machine out, looked it over. I'm like, I'm not going to fix this thing. I was going to fix it. I think I know what the problem was. It was either one of two things. It was either a relay, or potentially the control board was calling for heat when it shouldn't have been. Either way, it's like, you know what? Let's just see what we can get. Now, it's September. The health crisis is still a thing, but maybe I can get something. Maybe there's an appliance that I can just buy. So I went to Barron's Major Brand Appliances out in Manchester in New Hampshire. Barron's Major Brand Appliances. That's where I went. I went to all the big box stores. I went to Lowe's. I went to Home Depot. I was going to go to Sears, but I was about 2 years too late. So I kind of went around, run the gamut of all the appliance resellers that I'm aware of, and they all said the same thing. Like, they were giving me 1 month, 2 months yeah. It was like, okay, no matter what. I actually went to Lowe's and I talked to the appliance guy. I said, I understand what's going on. So I'm not going to go all Karen on you and tell you that, I'll take my money elsewhere. Just level with me. What can I buy right now? And he said, well, we have a $1,200 Samsung, I think they had on the lot, ready to pick up. He had like one of those. None of the lower end models were in stock. They were all gone. So I couldn't even buy anything like I had before. He said, I can order you anything you want, but it could take a month. It could take longer. We don't know. And I said, well, I don't want to wash my dishes by hand like a caveman. So, hey, I have hands that I don't want to, and I don't want to ask my girlfriend to wash our dishes by hand because it's just it's not nice. So. I'm sorry, this is going on far too long. I don't care. I'm doing a video. Screw you. So, train of thought here. What was I talking about? So, I had very very few options at my disposal. So I went to Barron's Major Brand Appliances, and they said, well, it just so happens, and I think this is a line. I think they're giving me a line when they say that they have a truckload of Bosch. It was the Essentia or Essento Ascent something. It was Bosch's entry-level dishwasher model, and it's a bestseller. Consumer Reports gave it like 50 gold stars or some shit. And the Bosch that they told me they could get me in. They said 2 weeks. I can get it in 2 weeks. I'm like, really? 2 weeks? I can wait 2 weeks for a dishwasher. I can suffer with a sponge and some soap for 2 weeks. Or we can just eat out every day, you know. Either way, I think I can do that. So I'm like, well, all right, let's do it. And before I swiped my credit card, I said, let me ask you, what do you have on the lot today that I can drive home right now? And he said, well, obviously we don't have much of anything, being at COVID times and all that shit. So I said, well, just humor me, what do you have? And he had a display model, I think it was a Samsung, but it was a higher end Samsung, and it was pricey actually. It was like a little over $1,000. And I would be paying full retail. And then he showed me I think he had a Frigidaire. And one of the things about Frigidaire's dishwashers is they all use basically the same chassis, the same basic machine, just sold at like 50 different price levels with different shades of stainless, you know, like 12 different shades of stainless steel with a couple of different control panel options, and that's it's basically the same machine though, same motor, same tub, same flimsy ass construction, same Chinese built piece of crap. Anyway, so I said, well, I don't want another Frigidaire, and I'm done. What about and I was about to walk out the door, I was about to order the Bosch, which I probably should have done in hindsight, but you know, hey, we all do dumb things. Okay? People in glass houses, they shouldn't be throwing stones. So if you're going to go in the comments and say, you're an idiot, think about your own life and things that you may have done that you would have changed after the fact. You know, think about that. Just before you start hammering away on that keyboard, just think about your own situation and things that you could have done differently after the fact. But you couldn't go back and change because the decision's been made and you're done. Okay, let me tell my story, okay? Don't worry, you got plenty of time to start with the keyboard and telling me how stupid I am. So I didn't buy the Bosch because I was walking up to the front desk, they had sitting in the original crate, never opened, with a sign on it that says sale. Those 4 little letters that usually preclude a bad decision. Sale. So I'm looking at this machine. I couldn't see it, and it was all wrapped in plastic. And I said, and I knew the brand name, and I didn't recognize the model, but the brand was. I'm like, this is a high-end machine. It was $700 off MSRP. $700 discount. Now you think about that. Dishwashers typically cost what? $300 to $600. So to get a dishwasher for $700 off MSRP, you know it's a little pricey. Oh boy, yeah, a little pricey. Okay, so I said, hey, this is a significant discount. Why is it, he said, well, it's a discontinued model. And I looked at the manufacturing date. It was made in 2016. I'm like, I'll say, but it's brand new in the box. And I don't care if it's last year's model or the year before that or the year before that or even the year before that. I don't care if it's the fanciest thing on the block or the most up-to-date. It doesn't have Wi-Fi. It doesn't have Bluetooth. Those are actually good things in my opinion. So I said, well, okay. You've knocked it down by $700. but I can pay for it right now and take it home in my car today. Is that correct? And he says, well, yes. I'm like, shut up and take my money. I am familiar. I'm vaguely familiar with the brand, and you just got a glimpse of it. I'm vaguely familiar with the brand. I know they're high end. Kind of they're like the underdog competitor to Miele and Bosch and Fisher, Paykel, and all those uber luxury appliance brands. Viking, maybe not Viking, but I bought a $1,700 ASCO dishwasher. Yeah. This is this is the most ridiculous appliance purchase I've ever made in my life. I didn't even know they made dishwashers that cost this much, but wouldn't you know it, they do. Now, I didn't just blindly buy this thing without doing any research. Here's what I found out. Number one, since I bought it new from the dealer, and I need to confirm this with the manufacturer, I'll admit, it is still covered under the 1-year manufacturer's warranty, or may even be 2 years. Secondly, it was new in the package. It had never been opened, so it wasn't a return. It wasn't anything like that. ASCO is a very... they're a boutique brand. They are Swedish. This is one of the newer ASCO models, which is made in Slovenia, which I didn't even know was still a country. But we all learn new things every day. I like the style of it. So he showed me the newer version of this, which is identical, and I actually like it because it looks very, it looks retro. It looks kind of, it's not fancy. It doesn't have freaking giant logos on it and Energy Star tags and all that shit that all the new stuff has. It almost looks like it could have been installed in this kitchen 40 years ago or more. It's just got that monolithic styling that I love. It has a nice towel bar handle on the front of it, which is fantastic. It just couldn't be better. I'm not crazy about the control panel being in the lid because they do get damaged from steam, but I imagine that this one is built a little bit better than the $300 Frigidairs that have the same control panel design. What I also like about this machine is it has, and one of the problems we had with the Frigidaire and every dishwasher I've owned before, is that it just isn't big enough. Well, this is one of the biggest dishwashers that will fit in a standard dishwasher opening. It has a top rack that can be raised and lowered at the whim of the user. All you do is release this thing here. Actually, let's see if I can do it. It's a two-handed operation. Oh, actually, yeah, you gotta raise it up. I think you pull it up from the middle. Yeah, there we go. So it's an adjustable rack, like that. I keep it down low because I do. It's got a middle rack here. This is for your cooking utensils. And I haven't figured out what this one is for. It actually came with two of these racks, so you could pull this one out and put two of these in side by side. This rack has its own jets built right in, and it locks right into the back here. Okay. In fact, I believe these can be reversed, so you can take this out, put it over here, and vice versa. Did I mention that it has a knife rack? You can put your knives here. It's designed for, well, let's grab a knife. Let's take the biggest one we got. And I believe the knife goes in, it says like this. So maybe that's how it works. Or, oh, wait. Maybe that's what this is for. I don't know. I gotta read the manual. The manual is pretty intense, because it has so many options and features. It's just crazy. Now, and even better, I think, oh wait, no, the knives go here, right? Maybe that's it. Yeah, reading the manual, RTFM is always a good thing to do. Oh yes, that's where the knives go. Just like that. So cool. One of the features it has that you probably already noticed is a fan logo. This has turbo, what do they call it? Turbo Dry Plus or something like that. Turbo Dry something. And what it does is it doesn't use a heating element. If you look at the bottom of it, yeah, it's got another. And all of these rack tines are adjustable. They can be dropped down if not needed, or repositioned as, depending on the size of your dishes. I mean, it's very versatile. But it has, look at that, there's nozzles everywhere. This thing has more nozzles than a 1900s needle shower. I mean, it's got, the stainless steel rotating bar. It's got 2 fixed position nozzles at the bottom there for spraying particular areas that would typically need it. But the drying option is what I was really after, because it has a fan built in that sucks air from the room space, and it uses that air plus the heat from the water to basically steam dry the dishes. So there's no heating element needed. So you can put anything you want on the bottom rack and it won't melt. That's what happened with our other machine when it malfunctioned. The other thing that makes, and this is what makes ASCO fairly unique, and which is why they're so expensive, is the entire machine is constructed from stainless steel. The door, the body, the frame. There's actually I think there's some regular steel in there too, but it's a completely metal chassis. There is no plastic, nothing. It's all metal. So, that's, to me, that's kind of a sign of some quality. But, ASCO it's a boutique brand. It's not something you're going to find at Home Depot. You'll find them at higher end or just regular appliance stores will sell them, not just high end ones. I mean, they all sell, various quality grades. But, pretty comprehensive, soap dispenser and nothing exotic there. But I was really after that heated dry feature because that is so cool. And it's also energy conservative. At this point, I'm gonna insert a picture of what it looked like when I installed it, and I'm gonna tell you how I corrected that, because I think it looks really good right now. So if you noticed, so the opening in this cabinet was cut by a homeowner probably 40 years ago to install the first dishwasher that this house had ever seen. And they did I don't want to say they did a bad job, but they didn't do it cleanly. The wood isn't cut straight on either side. So when you put a dishwasher like this that doesn't really have anything to hide, what's going on around it, it looks really bad. And it looked awful. Absolutely horrible. So I started brainstorming different ways I could fix it. And one of them was to just remove some of the wood and replace it and repaint it and do some, reconstructive surgery on my cabinetry. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. And I'm looking at the aluminum trim on the counter, and I'm like, huh. That gives me an idea. So I went over to my local hardware store, and I picked up some aluminum angle stock. It's a right angle, basically stock of aluminum. For various projects, you can cut it and trim it, sand it, pop it, pull it, twist it. And I just went ahead and I didn't want any exposed fasteners. I didn't want the screw heads because I thought it would look kind of chintzy. So I actually used Loctite Grab-It adhesive. a universal construction adhesive. It's actually what I use to glue the AZEK trim boards to the brick. It's good stuff. It's strong as hell. And check it out. It frames the opening nicely. It's not perfect. I cut this about a little over, about a 1/16 too short. But this piece is not actually, I didn't glue this in because I didn't want it to be, I wanted it to be removable. So if I have to pull the machine out, see, the side pieces should allow the machine to come out, whereas that top piece won't. It's a funny opening. So I actually had to kind of, when I took the old machine out, which was sitting on blocks, this is kind of messed up. When they built this house, when they built this kitchen, what they actually did is they only put the subfloor, or the underlayment, which is 7/8 plywood, they only ran it to just beyond the toe kick. There's no subfloor under that dishwasher. None. It's just not subfloor. There's no underlayment. So there's a 7/8 inch drop right to the subfloor. And all dishwashers today are designed to slide on the subfloor or on the floor, which should be level with the main, it just slides right in. I had a 7/8 inch drop. So when you slide the thing in, it just falls into the floor. So I went and I actually built up the floor with pine boards. It's a nice solid pine boarded, So that fixed that problem. But the opening is so tight. It's just so tight. It's the best I could do without doing some major construction. So using the trim, aluminum trim, I was able to kind of hide some of those defects. And I'm very happy with the result. I had some extra trim, so this corner was kind of beat up a little bit, from 67 years or so of just getting beaten. So I took this aluminum and I mounted it to the corner of the cabinet. I like that. That's a nice touch. I like it. You may not like it, but I don't really care what you think. But I'm just trying to share some ideas and share what I'm doing with this place. Maybe some of you might get some ideas and try it on your own house. So using this dishwasher, I didn't know how to turn it on. That's how complicated it is. But once you figure it out, you've got your program directory, which comes in 2 languages, French and English. You just press the program you want and try to match up. So this is heavy wash. This is quick wash. Hygiene wash. That one, I'm not really sure what that does. You got your delicate wash. You got your eco wash. Then, this is a party trick that's kind of cool. You have your, I think this is the upper rack. So it splits the dishwasher into 2 zones, top and bottom. And okay, this is kind of hard to understand, but come on, focus, you son of a bitch. This is your upper half only. This is your lower half only. Yeah, it's kind of complicated. Number 6. What is this one? This is your rinse and hold, and I think that's for 6 hours. And you can change that, I think. I think so. I don't know. Then you've got your time. So this is your delayed start. 15 minutes, 30. Then you've got your sanitation wash. So sanitation wash, that is where it basically, it runs it at its highest temperature, and it's mainly for heavy items like pots and pans and stuff, or something like that. The pictograms don't really make a lot of sense. So I usually use it on the normal wash, which is the coffee cup on the saucer. Let's see if we can find that one. Yeah. Takes about 2.5 hours. I have it on heated. So this is long dry, so this runs the dry cycle for a bit longer. And then you just press the start-stop button to kick the cycle. Once you press that, you close the lid and it just starts doing its thing. The one problem I have with this machine is this label, which I applied, it is already peeling off. So I think the label itself is just from sitting in the box is damaged. So I'm going to have to order another label. Because without this label, you would not know how to use this machine. I mean, it would. You just no way. Just no way. So, one of the nice things about ASCO is that reliability, just like a luxury car, a high-end appliance can have more problems than you can shake a stick at, and I'm aware of that. They do build their machines to last about 20 years, I was told. From all the various sources I've found, they're built to last about 20 years, so they're not poorly made, they're just very complicated. So there's a lot to go wrong in a machine like this. I paid $9.88 for it. I mean, I can't complain. I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna. It was kind of I needed a dishwasher now, and I didn't want to buy junk. And this is what I ended up with. And I'm happy with it. I've run a couple of cycles through it so far, and it does a better job than the Frigidaire ever did. It's a lot quieter. I think the Frigidaire was like a 70 decibel or some crazy number like that. This one is about 44 decibels, which is very quiet. It's quieter than the one I was going to buy, and for almost double the money. It freaking better be. So yeah, I got a $700 price break on it. I love the way it looks in this kitchen. I think it looks very nice. It looks like it belongs here. It just looks right. Now, as the Frigidaire appliances die off, I'm going to go with higher end stuff as we can afford to do so. I'm going to try to go with, better quality appliances rather than builder grade stuff. And that's really what I did. When I bought that dishwasher, it was a builder grade. Builder grade being, it's the kind of dishwasher that a company building condos and houses would buy in bulk and throw in all the units just to check off a box saying it's got a dishwasher. Or it's the kind of dishwasher they put in a house that they're flipping. That's what it was. This is something that you buy it once, and when it breaks down, you never buy another one. That's what it is. Oh my God, it's already 12 o'clock. Well, anyways, I just thought I would kind of share with you my experience in trying to get an appliance during a national, global health crisis. It's a challenge. If you need an appliance today, you're probably better off getting it used or fixing what you have. But I didn't want to fix my dishwasher. So what happened to the old one? What did I do with it? I'm glad you never asked, because I'm going to tell you anyway. So I have a coworker who's selling his house. And he just wants to fix it up a little bit. He's doing the floors over, he's doing some paint work and some windows. But he has a crappy black dishwasher that it just looks like it's on its last legs. And I knew this ahead. I knew this already, and I said, hey, I'm pulling out my dishwasher. It looks brand new. It does run, and here's what's wrong with it. You can fix it yourself. I don't care what you do, but if you want it, you can take it. And he jumped at it. He's like, wow, I will do that. He saved me $20 in disposal fees by doing that, so that was kind of did me a favor. And so he's going to take, he already came up today and he picked it up, and he's probably installing it right now. It does run, but it will cook your plasticware, and it might even melt itself into the floor. So, anyways, thank you for watching. I am going to bed. It is getting quite late, and it's about that time. So you guys, keep your dishes clean.